What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. Lots to get to on today's episode, but I think we should start with the usual. What's on your mind? Lou, let's start with you today.
Interesting. Okay, well, it was Labor Day weekend. I was down the shore this weekend, which was phenomenal.
Nice.
Little Cape May action. Cape May.
Nice.
/ Wildwood / Diamond Beach. If you know, you know.
Yep.
Did a lot of college football wagering, and my thought was I want to do some crossover situations with a high volatility show. Because I think we've always talked about the connections between sports gambling and cards, so I think we should figure out a little crossover action. I think it'll be good stuff.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
bringing
that.
ideas to the table.
Lou, yeah, it's a great idea. Lou's mentioning a new podcast on 1:37 p.m. called Short-Term High Volatility Investments that covers sports gambling.
Yes.
Crossover collab. I like that.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about sports gambling. It's fully back in my life. I didn't get up from the couch on Saturday. I sat down I got to Cape May at 11 a.m., sat down, and didn't get up until after the Georgia game. And then watched the Hawaii game.
That's a good job. The Hawaii late night, the Hawaii late night post the snoozer, Georgia.
Yeah,
that's commitment.
It was a snoozer, and I would say when I say watch, I mean I was like refreshing Gamecast because the only way you can watch Hawaii football is on Spectrum pay-per-view, and I'm not even kidding. It's only on pay-per-view, Hawaii football.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Todd, what's on your mind?
Penn State football is 1-0. What also is on my mind is with NIL and cards and NFT and just how college football and collectibles and everything is going to be much more advanced going forward, which I'm pumped about. Like we saw Candy, which is an offshoot of Fanatics, do a DJ Ukulele drop with some other guys. I think they also have the quarterback from Georgia. So that I think was interesting. DJ did not look too hot. Was holding the ball heavy. Penn State big road win. College football back. The U.S. Open has been sick, to be honest. The U.S. Open has been sick. A lot of young talent playing some good tennis, and I've been really enjoying that. Big match tonight. If you're watching this on Wednesday, it's going to be last night, but there's this 18-year-old Spanish kid, Carlos Alcaraz, and you guys are looking at me like I would look at you when you talk about F1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Just calling that out. The U.S. men's national team footy, really unimpressive showing. I mean, really.
Did we not have somebody
good for the pugilistic values?
Was someone important not playing for us?
Yeah. Reina got
missing?
hurt in the first game, so he didn't play the second game. Weston
McKinney,
McKinney
was the one I saw.
McKinney did the old, probably went and hung out with someone, broke the COVID protocol.
They said he's out for the next game too, isn't he?
Yeah, send him back to Juve. Like, get out of here.
The classic.
He's like, all right, I'll go back to Italy. You guys can go back to where Cincinnati, Ohio, and play for the MLS. Like, oh, I'm good. And then we got NFL Thursday night. We good. We're chilling. That Zach Wilson downtown you are looking for was pretty sick.
That's Jay. Yeah, that's a good card.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. In Premier League, yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't expect anything less to start the show.
Peak. All right, let me wrap it up. This is peak. We are going into peak sports.
Yes, 100%. These next 3 months are the best 3 sporting months of the year.
Is October the best sporting month of the year?
I actually, to be frank, I think the best sporting month, people will debate it because it doesn't have football. But that moment where you get like, yeah, well, a little bit later, the moment where you get NBA, NHL, like all the playoffs just ripping, May is pretty good.
And the Premier League.
Every night there's just bangers, yeah.
The draft. Yeah. I mean, March, May, or October. What are you voting for as the month of the you only get 1 month. What's the best month of the year for sports?
March. Oh yeah, because March Madness.
March Madness.
March Madness. You
that first weekend of March Madness.
Golf major in there.
That first weekend of March Madness is different.
Yeah, I think the Thursday to Monday of March, the first weekend of March Madness, is the best weekend of the year for sports.
I would agree.
I can't think of anything. The only thing close, I think, is this past weekend, the first college football weekend, where it's just games on the entire day for 3 days.
I think it's the second weekend because then you get the NFL on Sunday and on Monday and on Thursday.
Yeah,
and then you get the third.
You get like 5 straight days. That's what we got coming up.
Yeah, you're right.
Right, we've got Thursday,
the Sunday night football,
Thursday night football, Saturday football all day, Sunday football, Sunday night football, Monday night football.
Yeah,
it's back.
Also, college football, you're starting to see a little bit difference with these early big games because the teams are realizing that if you lose week 1, it's much better than losing late in the season. So they're front loading everything, but it's really a preview. Like everything's going to be one conference. All the top teams are only going to play each other. They're not going to play these mid-tier games. It's going to keep going. It's just with the money now. It's like
there's also weirdly too much downside for these big schools to play the smallest. Like
that's what I mean. Like
Washington losing to Montana is like a serious issue.
Like why?
For what they gave up? They probably threw them like $1 million and they lost.
And they caught the L.
Like that's brutal.
Yep, tough scene. Rye, what's on your mind?
We're going to talk a little bit more about it later. It's been watching Drive to Survive. Saw George Russell sign with Mercedes this morning. Lou and Tyler were Lou, did you send it in chat? Tyler, who sent it in chat this morning?
Tyler did. He's locked in, low key.
Tyler's locked in.
Yeah,
but yeah, so that
Lou gave us the hat tip. Lou gave us the week early. Lou said it's coming. Lou said the announcement.
I mean, it's been coming for months. It was imminent though last week once they announced Bottas.
Yeah, see, that's the cool thing about watching Drive to Survive is like it's older, so like you get to see how it plays out chronologically because you're seeing like these guys that aren't on these teams anymore, and you're like, okay, well, I know how this plays out, right? So, who is it? Lou, Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen going head to head in season 1 where they crash into each other, and then Ricciardo's up for a contract, right? And you're like, well, I know how this plays out later, because so it's.
We're gonna get to it. We're gonna talk F1.
Yeah, so it's been fun.
I think I want to watch Harry Potter tonight, Ty. I saw it on my HBO Max. They have like that big complete collection. I think I'm gonna get locked in tonight.
But Tyler said Penn State got a road win. Ohio State also got a road win. Little shaky start from Stroud, but I'm not gonna lie. Again, I'm super biased. Ohio State's offense, even with a mediocre quarterback, is explosive. The defense looks a little rough. But you know, I was telling some friends the other day when Saturday when college football was on, Bama's back and I hate it. I don't love it. I'm not here for it. Not a fan. They're back.
Who's that little number 1 receiver they have? That kid's a beast.
That kid's from Ohio State.
He transferred?
Jamison Williams?
A kid transferred from Ohio State to Alabama?
Ohio State has the top 2 wide receivers in the country right now. They don't need him.
I think the 3 best offenses are Ohio State, Alabama, and Ole Miss. Ole Miss is insane. I watched them last night.
Who's Ole Miss's quarterback?
This kid, I forget his name. He's like I think he's a junior. He's legit, and he's like Baker. He gets in everyone's face. He like takes tackles. It's awesome.
Yeah, Bryce Young, Jamison Williams. Alabama's team is just, man, I'm like, these guys are good. These guys are good. I hate seeing Bama good because, like I said, I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm not a big SEC guy, but man, they're good. It's gonna be tough to beat them. But Georgia beating Clemson on the road, that's tough
Matt
too.
Corral. Yes, Matt Corral, the quarterback.
But yeah, while we're on the topic of football, we just mentioned it. Thursday night football. It's Thursday night football this week, or does it start next week?
This week.
It's
48 hours plus an afternoon.
Yeah, Tampa and Dallas.
Dallas, week 1. So we got Thursday night football, Saturday night college football, Buckeyes and Ducks in the shoe. Will be in attendance. Maybe a little live Q&A, IG Card Talk live from the shoe on Saturday.
He's juiced up.
Then we got
What's
Sunday.
the line? How many points are you guys giving to Oregon, just for context?
I think it's 13.5, but I think it will shift a lot if Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't play. If you watch any of the Oregon game against Fresno, I think it was last Saturday. Kid's a beast. Kid's an animal. I think McShay or Kuiper has him in like top 5 right now. But he had an ankle sprain. So
Ty, if you had to guess the line.
Well, Jay put it in.
Jay just put it in the chat. I'm devastated.
Yeah, Jay.
Ohio State's 14.5-point favorites against Oregon.
It's 14.5 now.
That's a lot of points.
So your boy's probably out, Trayvon.
I mean, Oregon struggled with Fresno State. They don't look amazing, and if he doesn't play, it'll go up. It'll go up 17.5, 18.5. It'll go up. If
Minnesota struggled. Ohio State struggled against Minnesota, though. So
see, the thing about Ohio State is that's the thing about Ohio State. Like, they can struggle, and then all of a sudden they have the ball 30 seconds, and it's two.
Yeah,
tutties.
they dropped a couple tutties. They
who was
touchdowns.
Man that got shot out of a cannon, the backup running back,
Travion Henderson, the freshman, #1 running back in the country.
I was like, bruh, this guy came out of nowhere.
What about, by the way, speaking of shot out of a cannon, did you hear the call from Gus Johnson on the defensive lineman got the interception return for a touchdown?
Oh yeah, Haskell the rascal.
No, dude. He's like, he got shot in the face.
Oh, he got shot in the face last year.
He literally got shot in the face last year. Trying to break up, like, trying to stop someone from getting robbed. He got shot in the face through the cheek.
Crazy story. But it's an unbelievable call from Gus to have an interception for a touchdown and say a guy that got shot in the face.
All right, let's reel it back in. If there's a one college football player whose card you're picking up, who is it?
Wow. I'm going Zach Charbonnet. That's
because he used to be your boy, and you don't want to miss the boat.
He used to be my boy, and he's no longer my boy.
Definitely not.
That's
so his rise is gonna always bury you. So you just need to have a little hedge.
You gotta have a hedge against the sadness. That's always the
key. It's a hedge the sadness with the monetary gain. I don't like it.
There's two guys, one more biased than the other. Travion Henderson, I believe, will start here in a couple weeks. Mayan Williams looks good for Ohio State, but Travion Henderson is fast. But Jay put it in the chat. The more obvious guy is Bryce Young, right? 4 touchdowns in Alabama. Alabama just, I mean, how many titles does Saban have in 6 years? I mean, 6 titles in 9 years, I think. 6 titles in 10 years. I mean, he just wins.
Prints, guys. It's unbelievable.
He just wins. He wins all the time. And like, again, I do not like Alabama, but it's like Mahomes or Brady, right? Until somebody shows me they're going to beat them, I'm just not going to bet. Like, you're just not going to put your money against them, right? So it's hard to bet on Alabama not winning. And if that happens, that's why I picked Bryce Young to win the Heisman.
Yeah,
I'm going Bryce Young, and that would be the guy I would be like, I think makes the most sense to pick up, and he actually has cards.
It's a good pick, and there's one guy we didn't mention at all, and one team we didn't mention at all because they were hit in on ESPN3 this weekend. Cincinnati and Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder looked amazing on Saturday. They were lighting it up.
They beat Miami, right?
Miami of Ohio. Yeah, they beat them down. It was bad. They were flying down the field.
For the narrative, for the chatter,
I love narratives.
I'm not gonna take Bryce Young because I think that's clear cut. But I do think JT Daniels is gonna be one of those top 10 NFL picks because it's been written, and Georgia's gonna be there.
They have a very easy
when it matters.
They have a very easy.
Did you see that D-line? Did you see the D-line?
Yeah, the only game they have left, they play Florida in November. Other than that, they play like nobody.
So they play Alabama.
Who's going to be slanging in?
Yeah, until the title game, they don't play anyone other than Florida. So if they can just keep it together, they'll be in the SEC title game.
And then if they sneak out that win, he was.
Might win the Heisman.
They've been talking about him since his sophomore year in high school, and he pretty much left and went to USC
and didn't do nothing at USC. Was that under Helton at USC?
I think so. I can't speak confidently though. I got a little coffee. I got a little caffeine pop going on to me right now.
No, but side note,
U.S.
Jay,
soccer. Okay.
No. Jay, we definitely got – now I'm super curious. I've been thinking about that. Best month of the year. You only got 1 month of the year. Jay, I want that as a poll on IG or on Twitter. March, May, or October.
Yeah, March, May. That's a good one. All right, what else? U.S. soccer?
Ty, you were saying U.S.
soccer. A couple things on my mind is I think more people are watching these early qualifiers than in the previous 4-8 years. So I think that's very good overall for the sport growth that we've talked about on here for a long time. the specific players. I think it's good for their cards, but the performance was just down bad. And then I also thought it would be interesting to see the crossover between footy collectors, market players, flippers, etc., and F1 as kind of two like emergent sports. I'd imagine there's a lot of people playing in both worlds, also just because of the international appeal, the whole nine. I don't know. Like, I just think there's something there to the proper footy F1 cohort. I've kind of been thinking about.
There's a very, very, very big crossover. It's the same people who are jumping on the arbitrage of soccer are the ones who are jumping on the arbitrage of F1.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, I think Netflix and the PGA Tour agreed to like a Drive to Survive type of thing, which I think could be really cool.
I hope they get the right people. Like I hope they get Bryson and all that, because what happened with Drive to Survive, at first they didn't have Mercedes, and it kind of made the show not as good. So I hope they get all the right guys.
The Drive to Survive gets better.
It gets a lot better.
Man, I'm
There's no Mercedes.
Get me out of here.
They wouldn't go on the show because they were scared they were going to give something away because they're the evil empire.
And then they realized,
oh my God, I'm going to make Lewis Hamilton even more rich. And
money talks. On F1, can we stick here for a second? Can I throw you guys some questions?
Wait.
Okay.
We went a little fast through U.S. soccer. Although I did get Weston McKennie mixed up earlier with Tristan McKenzie, the baseball player for the Indians.
You said McKenzie, but I backed you up.
Rookie mistake out of me. Rookie mistake, right? The fact that I'm getting baseball mixed up with football or with soccer, not good. But it's not even Monday. Feels like Monday because Labor Day was kind of like an extended Sunday. So trying to get back on track here. But I saw a lot of people. I did not watch the game, Tyler, but I see a lot of people on Twitter going after the coach.
Yes.
Thoughts on that?
So there's a lot of chatter right now. It's like one of those things that starts in like deep rumor territory and then just bubbles up the chain until it potentially is a possibility. So Greg Berhalter, he just wasn't, no creativity, didn't make some changes, like very lack of managerial tactics. I don't want to overspeak. I'm not a deep follower of men's national team, but overall there is some concern around Berhalter and his lack of ability to create offensive chances. And then in the second half in that game, just didn't, against Canada, make changes that people thought were necessary. The next game is tomorrow, late night, against Honduras. And they're going to be without Reina, who is the son of a U.S. legend. They're going to be without Dest, who plays for Barcelona. And they're going to be without McKinney, who plays for Juventus. All three of them are out. We need to start getting 3 points and stacking some wins. So if they draw or lose to Honduras, I think it's going to be house on fire. There's been chatter. Now, this could be Twitter chatter. People may say this is crazy. Pep Guardiola, greatest manager in the world, arguably, coaches at Man City right now. People are saying potentially they could see him slotting in to take over the greatest country of all time.
That's crazy.
Their national team. Media, people, just like Mercedes, didn't want to be in Drive to Survive. Now they do. It could be a big thing for Pep. They do have talent. They have all the talent in the world, U.S. right now. They were ranked number 10. FIFA World Rankings, number 10 country. And they went 0-0 draw to El Salvador, 1-1 draw to Canada. It's not going to cut it. The other word that they've thrown around is the guy Marsh, who I believe is the Leipzig American manager coming in. He's under contract till 2023, I think. So, yeah, it wasn't a great 72 hours. That was the start. You got 14 games to qualify. The CONCACAF division, 7 teams. Top 3 auto-qualify. 4th team goes into like a playoff to get into the World Cup. We need to finish top 3. Shouldn't be hard. But through 2 of 12 games, we have 2 points. Not exciting.
Yeah, like at what point do we start to get worried? Like if we lose this next match?
I'm just gonna ask that.
When do I have to care? When do I have to care?
Yeah, like where do I stop the worry scale, Ty?
We're close. We're close.
We're already
this
worried.
window,
That can't be true.
This Honduras game is 3. That'll be 3 games. That's this window. Then I think we go back in November or so. But if we leave this window with 3 points in 3 games,
bad.
Nerves.
Really?
Nerves.
Yeah, so I texted in the thread and I was like, we're not going to, I didn't think we were even an option for the World Cup. And Ty was like, no, we're a lock. And now we're already
should be.
over.
I mean, it should be a lock.
But now we're over to concern already.
Oh, October.
The meter is moving, Lou.
After a weekend.
Lou, the meter's moving.
Yeah.
Bad.
Ty, I think they play Costa Rica. They play Costa Rica in Columbus here in a couple weeks.
October 13th.
Yeah, it's in Columbus.
Are you going?
No, my brother.
That sounds kind of fun.
I know that does.
They pre-sold tickets. My brother's got lower bowl seats to that.
That's cool.
So, increased interest excites me. Performance is not great. I'm still incredibly confident we are going to make it, but one could
argue. For perspective, you said the United States was ranked 10th in FIFA. Like, where would Canada rank on that list?
Let me check this out.
We talking like 30
FIFA
or like
world rankings? I'll tell you. Men's ranking, FIFA world rankings. Let's pull this up. Denmark is 11. Just to give context, Denmark, who made the semifinals of the Euro Cup, is 1 behind us. Mexico, they have 1 above us. Canada, sheesh. They ain't even on the first page.
How many's on the first page?
50. And we got Mexico, Jamaica's 50. Let's see where they have Canada at. Canada, 59.
Okay, what about, who'd you say?
Honduras, 63. El Salvador, 64.
Okay, what about Costa Rica?
Let's see. Costa Rica.
Top 50 squad?
I'm going to go back to the first page. Hopefully they're on there. 44.
44.
Like, we played the bad teams. We still got Mexico. We still got Costa Rica.
We have issues.
Jamaica.
It sounds like we have real issues.
The meter has moved.
The meter's moving, and we need to put the ball in the cage, and it doesn't look healthy. And El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as their national currency. It's a good point by Jay.
What does that have to do with soccer?
All right, Ty.
What's just the point? This is the point to be made.
I wanted to at least hit on that. I thought that was important to at least add some context there.
Agreed.
But back to your little F1 chatter you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I wanted to just kind of ask you guys, okay, so F1 product in the market currently. It's like very new, right?
It's relatively new. I think it came out in January.
Panini holds the rights?
Tops
holds the rights? Okay.
Yes.
So the product.
What are the products that are out?
So this is what I mentioned to Lou last week and, weeks before. That is the lack of product and the rarity, like the finite print, right? With serial numbered cards, there's a certain amount of it. That has what's intrigued me the most about the F1 originally. Again, getting into the Drive to Survive, qualifying races, learning more about the sport. That's what's, kind of got my excitement up. But initially, the rarity with the products is what drew my interest to it. With Chrome Hobby, Chrome Sapphire, and Dynasty. I know Lou mentioned there's a flagship product coming out soon. But
supposedly, I don't know that to be a fact, but that's like what I heard.
I've heard similar rumblings.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
That's data deep in the F1 streets.
But the rarity behind with the finite number of boxes or cases produced, with only a couple products for a sport that big, that's what's intrigued me the most.
Can I just tap into that real quick a little bit more? So when you say that the numbered cards and the rarity, your point is essentially, okay, a product comes out like Topps Chrome Hobby, and in it there are cards numbered to whatever 50, 1 of 1s, etc. That immediately means that there is a capped supply versus other products that maybe don't have serialized numbers, which means that there can be more of an infinite supply.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? So with like retail, if like you make a blaster box and there's nothing guaranteed inside of it, you could make as much as you want. There's nothing stopping you from printing base cards or anything like that when there's nothing guaranteed. But with like Sapphire, Lou, what is it? 2 serial numbered cards per box, I believe.
I believe that's correct.
I think it's 2 serial numbered cards per box on Sapphire. So with that being said, then you just take every single card in the checklist, you break down all of the different parallels, do the math, and eventually you'd come out with, hey, there's X amount of boxes on this. Just the math alone makes that, like, it's an equation you could figure out with no retail. So no blasters, no hangers, no cellos, no megas, nothing like that. You only have Hobby, Sapphire, and Dynasty. And again, you just know there's not an infinite amount of them, right? Dynasty, you can look up what parallels there are of each driver and how many of each of those are, do the math, and it'll tell you how many boxes of Topps Dynasty you got. And then you just, again, that's what makes it intriguing.
Quick point on that also, with the being able to do the math on the print runs of everything. I've actually noticed a lot, because that used to be something you could do a lot more commonly, right, Rye? Because there wasn't always this mass supply of retail floating around that you'd be able to do that. And I've actually noticed that it's attracted some older collectors that I know to the products because they are able to do that math, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that actually bodes well for long-term health, but it was interesting to see that some older and more seasoned collectors were going to the product early on for that reason.
Yeah, I was telling Lou, like, I bought a couple of Sapphire Chrome boxes. I paid pretty close to market to grab 2 of them. And like in the last 10 days or so, they're up $700. They were about $1,100, $1,150 when I was in Dallas. Because I bought 2 of them, and they're up. So full disclosure, I have 2 Topps Chrome Sapphire boxes. I own 2 of them, just 2. I paid $1,100 for one and $1,150 for the other, and they're currently trending about $1,800, $1,850 on eBay.
What's Hobby doing? What's Chrome Hobby doing now?
I believe right around the $900 mark.
I think that's not investment, but I think that's still a good price.
So
that seems low, by the way.
Are there?
If
Right,
the cases
have
are
you
10K,
seen
right?
Over your kind of time in the hobby, paying attention, a newer product comes out, like my head goes to maybe Fortnite or something. These kind of early test the water, right? Like Topps testing the water. They're not going to go full push because they don't know the demand of F1 yet. Are there some other products that you pay attention to in terms of, okay, we know the supply is going to be limited, and that's why I'm going into it for potential future demand?
Yeah, you've definitely seen it before. I mean, this happens a lot with product, but honestly, like a lot of times the hype like has died pretty quickly. Like you remember earlier this year when the first Upper Deck golf product came out?
Yeah, I do.
It tanked.
We were hot on it.
It was tanked. It was like $1,000 a box the week it came out. It's like $400 a box now. It tanked, right? And this type of run up, and this is why I'm like, know what you're getting into when you buy these boxes. I
haven't bought F1 in a couple of weeks for this exact reason.
So know what you're getting into, right? Like we see this massive run up, right? F1's going up. It happened before with Marvel and Pell. It happened before with Prism basketball, right? I can tell you, I've got a Prism basketball case, 1920. At one point, those were like $4,000 a box. They're like $2,200, $2,500 a box now. This happens, right? Where you get a run on things and they go up and everybody wants them and they're really hot and then they'll dip, right? So I'm not buying, I don't have the Prism basketball case to hold for 1 month or 1 year or 2 years. I'm holding it for, my intention is to hold it for a long, long time, right? I'm going to play this in supply and demand 10 years from now, not 10 months from now. That's why I like it, because I can afford to sit on it for that period of time. But I would be very cautious of somebody getting in at 1,800 if, like Lou mentioned, he said they were $700 at the National.
Sapphire boxes.
That's not that was a month ago.
I also want to make a point. Like myself, I've been a huge F1 person. Ryan's become a very big, not a very big advocate. I won't speak for him, but he's purchased it as well. I'm definitely a very big advocate. I'm also going to say right now, there is going to be a pretty dramatic drop in F1 when the season closes. That's just how these things go. There's going to be a drop. So know what you're buying. Exactly what Ryan's saying. Know what you are buying. There's going to be. George is officially moved to Mercedes now. That's done. Williams
is he a wonder kid?
He's not like, wonder kid, but he's a pretty sought after driver, and they're pretty into him. Like Mercedes is really into him. They're really excited about him.
I was thinking about this earlier. I was maybe drawing up some comparisons. Tell me how accurate this might be because you know football too.
Okay.
Lewis Hamilton, Tom Brady.
Yep.
Verstappen, Mahomes.
No.
George Russell, Trevor Lawrence.
No. More like I would say Lando's closer to Trevor Lawrence than George is, but I would say George is like I'll give it George to Justin Herbert. If that makes actually, I'm taking it back. I'm switching it. Lando's Justin Herbert, and George is closer to Lawrence than he is to anything else, I would say.
Verstappen, Mahomes.
I don't think that's fair to say. I don't think there's a good comparison for Max. He's a really good
Lamar.
He's a really good driver who would probably be winning more championships if Lewis didn't exist.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Maybe
the F1 guys, by the way, the F1 guys are about to roast the shit out of me for saying George Russell is Trevor Lawrence, but I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't care.
Gosh,
I don't care. You guys can't make fun of me.
Is he a take?
No, I just wanted to give some people some comparison because again,
but no, it's a fair for someone who has no clue at all. It's a fair-ish comparison. It's fair enough. More fair.
Yeah, but I think it's like I said, Lou. I think it's worth pointing out that like while it's hot now, it won't always be hot.
100%. And by the way, I still haven't submitted my cards. I feel very confident sitting on the stuff I have for what I bought it at. And like I said, I haven't bought an F1 card in a couple of weeks because I can't rectify the costs in my head yet. I can't get there with where these cards are at right now. Some people might be able to. I can't personally.
Saturday mornings are qualifiers. Sunday mornings are races.
Yes. It's on before NFL. They're like 8, 9 a.m. It's like before NFL starts. So it's why I think it has a shot.
I was in PA this weekend for a wedding, and Reg was in the wedding, so she was getting ready Saturday morning, and I had time to kill. So I went to a little card shop, did a little value box digging, and the F1 qualifier was on TV in the shop.
In the shop?
In the shop.
Yeah, yesterday, Sunday.
Not college game day. Not college game day on Saturday morning. F1 qualifying.
I think it's got a real shot.
There's serious legs. They're there.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It is very cool. And I think this past weekend was a really tough race. It's like one of the most difficult races. Like if you look at the timing, it was Lewis and Max, and then it was everyone else like 25, 35 seconds behind and more, and they were getting lapped just with the way the turns are. I think this upcoming weekend at Monza is going to be a big race, and if with it lining up on an NFL Sunday, I think the viewership might be like crazy.
So Lou, why again? For someone that is just getting into it and maybe someone that doesn't know as much about it, like why would those guys be getting lapped because the turns are hard? The car's just that much better?
Cars are that much better. Drivers are that much better. And it's just the way the races go, right? Like that's why qualifying is so important. And if I speak out of turn here, please, I'm still a new racing person trying to learn all these things. But to my understanding, it's the car, the driver, and your positioning coming out of qualifying.
It seems like that's a really big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal because the way F1 works is if you're not at the front of the pack, you're dealing with all the traffic of all the turns. So if the turns are hard enough to begin with and then there's traffic, it's just slow down and then you're finished. You're out. Unless you can make a move quick, you're finished. A lot of tracks, there's one or two places where you can really make a pass, and if you don't make a pass, that whole lap's pretty much gone. And
how do we feel about the F1 race in Austin on October 24th?
I'm excited about it. I don't want to go because I want to hold out for Miami, but I might go. I would say I might want to go.
Could be the card show that isn't a card show.
I would love to go. If you guys are down to go, I'm down. But
wait,
I'm
Todd,
holding out for Miami.
It's the weekend before Halloween.
24th. October 24th.
Yeah, that's to say it's the week before the Dallas card show.
Actually, wait, I'm out. That's my sister's wedding, so I'm out. And I'm out.
Guess we're not going.
We were going for a second.
Let's go to Miami. Let's go to Miami next year.
Even Judy wants to come. We're definitely going to Miami next year.
Miami. Okay, great. Card Talk will be at Miami.
I wanted to be in Austin too, though.
You guys should go, but I can't go. It's my sister's wedding.
That's fair. I get that.
Miami doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, in theory, she only gets married once. You know what I mean?
He said in theory, she only gets married once.
In theory. What else is popping? We got some latest launch.
We were talking about, before we get into latest launch, we were talking about Dallas. And before the show started, the three of us were talking kind of off air about upcoming shows. We get DMs for them every now and then, but would love to hear more about some of the shows you guys are interested in the rest of the year, like what shows there's going to be. A lot of our schedules haven't lined up for some of the ones coming up, so we're just looking at all of our options. Like I know there's the Chicago Spectacular show is November 19th through the 21st. There's a Philly show coming up here in September 24th, 25th, 26th, I believe. The Dallas show is Halloween weekend. I won't be going to that. I'll be at the Ohio State Penn State game. There's just a lot coming up here. So Tyler, Lou, and I have been looking for some sort of insight on some of the shows you guys might recommend. We would like to be able to get to another show or two the rest of the year. So if anybody has any leads on those dates, feel free to reach out to us IG or Twitter at Card Talk Pod. Just wanted to kind of put that out there that if anybody knows of anything, we're looking to see what else is coming up.
Yeah, I would love to get to a Northeast show at the very least.
Yeah.
Set up at a table. That'd be nice.
I know there's a Causeway card show coming up in Boston. I know Chris, they've got that show at the TD Garden. I went to that one before. That one was pretty good. I know one of those is coming up. I don't know. I know Lou mentioned there's one in Jersey. I know the Philly show. There's a couple out that way, but again, if anybody else has anything, would love to.
Yeah, I definitely want to get to a show. And then Vegas, you're going this upcoming week?
Yeah, to the Industry Summit. Mm-hmm.
Dope.
So yeah, I've never been. I've heard good things about it. There's a lot of, I was looking at the schedule, a lot of cool breakout sessions talking about different things in the industry. So
who puts it on?
It's sponsored by Beckett. There's a couple sponsors, but my understanding is the main people is Beckett. Nice. Again, I've never been though. So
I'm excited for this. We have some early chatter going with the collectible. Is it IMG or that Vegas show?
They're doing an event in Vegas, yeah.
Isn't it the same weekend though as Lou's sister's wedding?
No, it's in January.
Well, did she get married twice?
No, I thought there was a Vegas show in October.
There is a Vegas show in October.
Oh,
that's a different one. Yeah,
gotcha.
So I guess same weekend as Austin.
Yeah, it's Austin is the F1 race. There's the Vegas card show and my sister's wedding, so I will not be attending any of the above.
Tough scene. I might go to Paris for a couple weeks.
Tough scene for everyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, Industry Summit. I think we might do a little Q&A live, IG Card Talk.
Yep.
Sometime next week.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out your schedule.
Right? Do you tailgate?
Not typically.
You just kind of roll up and go right in.
Yeah, I mean it's fun being on campus, right? I graduated from Ohio State, so I enjoy being on campus.
Oh, you went to Ohio State? I didn't know.
Just not really a big,
tailgate guy.
Not a big real drinker guy. I'm actually, just more. It's kind of crazy. I'm just more introverted. I just kind of keep to myself and the people I know really well, and that's kind of my thing. It's
I respect it, but I will say that next year you have to come to Happy Valley. We take an RV out.
When are you coming to Columbus? Why do I got to come there first if you can't come here?
Oh yeah, wait, right. You should come to Jets Patriots.
When?
Week 2 of the NFL season.
I'm at a bachelor party.
You're not going to the home opener for the Jets?
I know. I'm gonna be disappointed. Bro, I'm at my best man. I'm at the best man in a wedding. I got the bachelor party.
Yeah, okay, I get it. But that's breaking news.
Bro,
I've never been to New York.
You haven't shared that with the appropriate people.
No, not even remotely. Not even remotely. But I will say this. I would not be there if I wasn't at the bachelor party because I would be at Penn State for Penn State Auburn, white out under the lights.
Yeah, so you're out either way.
I'm out either way.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, I know it's tough.
Anyway, Rye, you're still invited. The boys are gonna be buzzing. I'll say that.
Do you think it would be a wise idea to wear a Patriots jersey there?
I think you're gonna get made fun of. No one's gonna bother you though.
I've never been to New York.
Dominated the Jets.
It's not New York. It's Rutherford, New Jersey. There's a bunch of hotels and a mall.
Yeah, but if I go to the Jets Patriots game, you don't just not go to New York.
This is true.
I mean, I guess, yeah. You will be sitting in the fancy seat. No, okay, weird flex, Jay. You have fancy seats.
Lou, are you sitting with Jay?
No.
Where do you sit? Like you sit like front row? I
sit with Gary. If I'm lucky enough to have a ticket, I will be sitting with Gary. I will couch that aggressively.
Oh, that's awesome. Home opener, Patriots Jets. But yeah, Ty, are you coming out October 30th, Halloween?
If I'm not in Paris, I will probably be there.
You recording the podcast from Paris, or like are we just not doing the pod? Or
no, I would record from Paris, like Paris. Like, I gotta go.
Those are going to be aggressive soccer episodes. It's going to be
exactly. I gotta go check out the League One market.
All right. Anything else we want to get to before we go to the latest launch?
Tour de France.
All right.
I think we're good.
It's been a show. It's been a real show.
So as we get into latest launches, actually a decent week. You got WNBA basketball, Prism.
Okay.
Fire.
You have Upper Deck Skybox Metal Universe Hockey.
That's a lot of qualifiers for a product.
And Donruss Football, which, as you guys mentioned earlier, has the downtowns and seems to have some people buzzing on social about that product.
Downtowns are a big deal. People really like downtowns.
So you got
who are the do we know who the WNBA rookies are? Is there anyone good?
I do not.
Worth noting? I feel like there's one, at least one, that is like big.
There is. The best player is at UConn. She went back, right?
I think she did go back.
I think she was a freshman.
She went back to school.
Which is crazy because now you can just make a ton of money being in school.
Anyway. NIL. I know.
That's good, though. Think about the guys that didn't do anything in the pros that would have made a fortune in college football.
My initial take with NIL was that it was good for college sports because it's going to keep some kids in school who otherwise might have been forced to go to the pros. Like that kid from Iowa would have made a ton of money. The basketball player would have made a ton of money during his career.
Oh, Luka Garza.
He would have made a ton of money while he was in school. He stayed the whole time anyway, but I think it's good for college sports.
Yep. These guys that just didn't do anything in the pros, they would have made good money.
It's gonna help keep borderline kids in school if they can keep making money in college while also continuing to get better for their pro career.
And we think so much about the top 2%, 5%. Like all these, linemen, they're all gonna, if they play their cards right and the market continues to mature, there's going to be $10,000, $15,000 for all of them. 20, 25 grand here and there. Real money that changes everything for them.
Think of also the guys that have I think, Ty, you're going to hate this, but I think of when Ohio State had that game against Penn State a couple years ago. It was amazing in the shoe. Ohio State comes back and Johnny Dixon catches a late touchdown or Marcus Ball catches a late touchdown. And they have that moment.
The next week, it's like,
capitalize on that moment.
By the way, as small as he has the big moment, and then he does a couple appearances in town the next week,
couple signings,
bucks, you get as big as someone like DJ who does a Dr. Pepper commercial. And the baseball players who get to deal with Rawlings for the glove and all that other stuff.
The dude Milton,
Mackenzie Milton
for Florida State.
I remember when he got hurt. I was watching it.
Someone's gonna sponsor. Someone's going to have a serious injury and they're going to get their whole entire documentary of their recovery sponsored. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anyway.
So yeah, kind of an exciting week. You got the WNBA Prism. You got the Skybox Hockey. I think that'll be cool though. The reason I say Skybox, the Metal Universe, that's PMGs. Even if it's hockey, I understand it's not basketball, it's not football. I understand that. But
no, remember I can't even. I still think about the Messier PMG.
Yeah, I'm saying you don't want to make David PMG.
I do badly. PMGs are now like my thing.
Yeah. So, any closing thoughts?
PMGs, I want them all.
I'm on the Buccaneers and the overs on Thursday.
Micah Parsons is going to be flying around Thursday night.
Tyler,
the chatter's been all out.
DJ Rookie of the Year. He's a beast.
ESPN.com. He was on the front page this morning.
He's a beast.
See you next week, everybody.
See you guys.
Peace.
Peace.